Hello everyone, today I'm riding the Amtrak Lakeshore Limited.
Amtrak's Lakeshore Limited runs between Chicago and New York and Boston. It is a descendant of the New York Central Railroad's famous 20th Century Limited that started in 1902. The New York and Boston sections are combined west of Albany, New York. The train is pulled by two P-42s between Chicago and Boston and consists of single-level Fleet 2 and Viewliner cars. On the day of my trip, the train had 11 cars, with the first 4 destined for Boston and the remaining 7 for New York. The trip takes about 20 hours from Chicago to New York and 22 hours to Boston. The Metropolitan Lounge is available for sleeping car and business class passengers in Chicago. The Lakeshore is the final long-distance train to depart Chicago, so by the time I got there, the lounge was pretty quiet. There was a lot of room, with dedicated space for kids, and working. I especially love this wooden mural. See if you can name all of the trains for each of these destinations. The space upstairs, which is street level, is called the Pennsylvania Room, dedicated to the Pennsylvania Railroad.
St. Louis, Missouri. If you're holding tickets for this train, please make your way to the South Concourse, track number 14.
Food offering is nicely presented, but unfortunately very basic and limited to packaged snack items. The lounge closes at 9 p.m., which is coincident with Lakeshore's boarding time. The attendant escorted everyone across the concourse to trackside.
Track 26 to your right. Have a safe travel.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
The Lakeshore Limited operates with 3 Viewliner sleeping cars, 2 New York sleepers at the rear of the train, and 1 Boston sleeper at the front. I had reserved a roomette for this trip, which is the smallest and cheapest room, designed for 1 or 2 persons.
Good night.
Good night.
The room is self-contained with a folding sink and a toilet. The 2 seats fold down to become the lower berth, while the top bunk partially retracts from the ceiling. The unique feature of the Viewliner is the top bunk window, hence the Viewliner name for the car. To get an in-depth look of the Viewliner cars, including the Viewliner II, please go to the link above, and I will bring you back here after that video. Overnight, our train traversed through Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and I woke up somewhere in Pennsylvania. Despite the romantic Lakeshore name for this train, I was disappointed there were no views of any of the Great Lakes. It was time for breakfast in the dining car. This train features Amtrak's flexible dining menu, which is just a fancy term for preheated, ready-to-serve meals. It's a shame to see the galley not put to work with just one food service attendant working, helped by one of the sleeping car attendants. Initially, I thought food was freshly prepared, so I ordered my bacon crispy. I was pleasantly surprised the attendant later returned with a side of bacon, well done. We rolled through upstate New York in the morning and early afternoon. After passing Utica, it was time for lunch. Lunchtime was by reservation, and my food choice was made to my sleeping car attendant when taking the reservation. My beef short ribs taste exactly like a certain frozen meal I like to have, but my friend said his salmon was excellent. After crossing the mighty Hudson, we arrived at Albany Rensselaer. It was a long 1 hour and 20-minute stop where our train was cut into Boston and New York sections. The P-42 diesel-electric stayed with the Boston section, while the New York section received a P-32 diesel third-rail electric locomotive dedicated to the Empire Corridor, which is between Niagara Falls, Albany, and New York. P-32 runs on third-rail electric power while in the tunnels below New York City. I thought the final run of the trip along the Hudson River was the best part of the trip, which is quite ironic because this section of the ride can be had on any Empire Corridor train to and from New York City.
destination for Croton Harmon. Please exit where you see a member of the crew for Croton Harmon.
Two and a half hours after departing Albany Rensselaer, we pulled into New York's Penn Station 5 minutes early. Say goodbye to the lakeshore. Say goodbye to the lakeshore. We made a rookie mistake and took the nearest escalator up, which put us in the Penn Station below Madison Square Garden, not where we wanted. We had to cross the street to get to Moynihan Train Hall for baggage claim. So what do you think of the Lakeshore Limited? What is your feeling on flexible dining? What were your experience on the Viewliner? Please leave me a comment below, hit the like, and subscribe.